is the home of the Super Bowl, and this historic matchup is brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Eagles and the Dolphins, and it comes your way next.
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Tonight, it is all on the line. We play for the Lombardi Trophy, as it'll be the AFC champion Miami Dolphins taking on the NFC champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And CD, what a run for these Dolphins. Remember, they were bounced in the first round of the playoffs last year, but they are back as the AFC's representatives in Super Bowl 58.
And partner, it's been a long time since their last Super Bowl triumph. That was back in 1974, and no one on this team was even alive when that happened, including their head coach. So plenty to play for here tonight, trying to add another Lombardi Trophy to their arsenal.
Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they're trying to pull off what only 3 teams have done before, go from Super Bowl losers to Super Bowl champions.
Last team to do that, the Patriots, Super Bowl 52 and 53. Before that, you've got to go back to the Dolphins in Super Bowls 5 and 6, and the Cowboys in Super Bowls 4 and 5.
On the ground, it's Swift to start the drive. Room here to run. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. Opening quarter, his opening carry of the game, and I think they'll give it to him a few more times, as they should.
You're exactly right about that. With that type of a run, you want to repeat it many times until they show signs of stopping it. I think he did his visualization exercises before this one, and they're paying off.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
And a good push there defensively as they stop him at the 48. Gain of just 1.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
To a hit, and the ball is out. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
Philly's offense getting ready, and Jalen Hurts ready to lead them. The second-round pick who started his career at Alabama, then finished with an electric senior season at Oklahoma.
As we begin the Super Bowl, we're looking at one of the game's most important players. And whether he's the centerpiece of the offense or taking a backseat to his teammates, offenses always look to the quarterback to be a leader in moments like this. He's got to be that calm, composed pillar out there who stays level-headed and keeps everyone focused on the task at hand.
28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
Kind of a dangerous throw there. He's off balance when he gets rid of it. But this is all about a quarterback knowing what he can get away with. And that time, it turns into a completion and a healthy gain as well.
But they run the option here on 1st and 10. And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. From the gun, it's Hurts. That's to the speedster, Olamide Zaccheaus. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 29-yard line. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result.
Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. And the Dolphins will take over possession here up at the 44.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They'll start in excellent field position following the INT. Give the tackle to Hassan Reddick. From the 47 now, they'll work with a 2nd and 7. This Super Bowl, of course, just a huge one for this head coach. The first time he's walked the sidelines in a game of this magnitude. And he's got it at the 15. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Tyreek Hill with a first touchdown of this Super Bowl and a long one at that. And the Dolphins use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. So a long play for our first points in the Super Bowl.
No doubt about it, and what we see here is something that we saw all year long from them. The ability to strike from anywhere on the field. How about the way they got it started in this one?
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and it's now a 7-0 game. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. So back onto the field, here come the Eagles for their second drive. They trail early on in this Super Bowl as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start with the option, and he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Bradley Chubb came in and got him. Well, that play never really got off the launching pad. He had a linebacker in his face before he had a chance to do much of anything.
Yeah, I think it's big boys up front, that offensive line. They've got to do a little bit better job of protecting him if they're going to continue to run the option like this.
Able to get away. Oh, he sheds himself free. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. A nice job of eluding the pressure there, scrambling for 11.
No surprise to see him running again here. It's something he's done throughout this season. And that run puts him over 500 yards on the ground for the year. He's got to be thinking to himself, if I'm already at 500, what's to stop me from going for 1,000?
They'll try and pick it up by running the option to the right. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
4th and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
On your own side of the field.
Side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
You're gritty today. I like it.
I'm feeling it.
On is the punter man as he boots this one away. Here's Hill on the return. There he goes, left side. And he will score. Touchdown, Miami. That'll go down as an 84-yard punt return. And the Dolphins will add to their first quarter lead here in this Super Bowl.
When you've got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach. It's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they mishit the ball and kick it right to him.
Sanders on for the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. Well, we know he has home run hitting ability in the punt return department, and he showcases it there all the way back for 6. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. They trail early on in this Super Bowl as they come up 1st and 10. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. That brings us to the end of one in Super Bowl 58. Much more to come from Las Vegas after this. Plenty of scoring here already. The NFL on EA Sports continues right after this message. At the 23, it's 2nd and 12. Welcome back to the date on the calendar we circle every year, Super Bowl Sunday. Brandon Garden, Charles Davis here with you as we get set to begin quarter 2. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And he is going to have an Eagles 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, he and his offense were staring down what was likely a 3-and-out. Zero fear from his side, though. Never doubted for a second they pick up the first. He's ready to pull the trigger on a keeper the moment it was.
The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Jalen Phillips coming in from that outside linebacker spot. He gets him down. It's a loss of 5.
Well, that's a big defensive stop there, and it takes away a lot of momentum from the offense coming off that big completion the prior snap. Give big credit to the defense for bouncing back.
On 2nd down, Gainwell looking for space. And not much room to speak of. He'll get about 3 up to the 41. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Hurts sets up to throw it. And that is incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down.
It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this first half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try and figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And the Dolphins will begin this drive in great field position, 1st and 10. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Swift going to try up the middle. And it's a fumble. And it looks like one of the DBs has it. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. And a little careless there, Charles, on that carry. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. On 2nd down, Tua. Quick slant, Tyreek Hill with it. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. DeAndre Swift taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Dolphins continue to look good here in the first half of this Super Bowl. Well, I don't think that we're ready yet to say the route is on, but they have certainly looked near flawless here in this first half, and now an extra point away from making it 21-0.
Yeah, and your experience led you to say that because we have both seen those 21-0 leads come and go in this league, but this one feels pretty darn secure. And here's the other part. Even when people chip away at it, it forces you into being almost perfect on the other side, doesn't it, in order to try and mount a comeback.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
I know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you
Now
just
you
called
can
it.
go.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think
did.
you did. But let's face it. You mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that they've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Throwing is Hurts. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
On 4th down, punt coming from Braden Mann. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Watch out for Hill on the return. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will be alongside. He'll have highlights and analysis from Orlando of this first half of action. 1st down Miami as they get set to start the drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown. And their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles' defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Jalen Carter. What an effort from him on that play. Big tackle for a loss of 11. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Looking to pass. Tua. Oh, what a read on the outside as it's intercepted. Picked off by James Bradbury. And the Eagles will take over possession here up at the 44. So that potentially an important takeaway here in this 2nd quarter.
Because what it does is give their offense a chance to put a drive together. They've got nothing on the scoreboard so far, so you have to think that they need something before the break. And now they have an opportunity.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. On 1st down, Hurts. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. It's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. Hurts. Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. Picked off by Jerome Baker. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
They try and run on 1st down, but this one going to lose a couple yards as they get him behind the line.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
Tua wants to throw it on 2nd down. Got a man complete to Cedric Wilson. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Tua. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Hill. And with a clock reading zeros, he is into the end zone. What an exclamation mark to the end of this 2nd quarter.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, my education continues in this game, I've got to tell you, because there's not an analyst in the world that would have said pass up the field goal here go for it and expect for it to be successful, and it was. I mean, they're playing this one just like a video game.
Especially for the final play of the first half to have the guts to do that. But I guess, what do we say? The end will justify the means, right?
No doubt about it. For you and me, we live, we learn.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that will take us to the end of the first half of play. So we've reached halftime here in the Super Bowl. As we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan. One of the greatest performances of the year usually, but not here. Halftime of the Super Bowl is skipped, and we are on to the second half. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl. And the half will begin with a touchback. The Eagles ready to go on offense to begin quarter number 3. And right now, their chances of hoisting that Lombardi trophy not looking too great, but perhaps that long halftime, maybe it did them a world of good.
But if there's ever a chance to regroup, it's in this game, right? Because you do have that long halftime, a chance to really assess things and maybe make some changes and true adjustments. They've played great all year long. That's the worst first half of the season for them. They're hoping to put it behind them and come back punching here in the second half.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Here's Hurts to throw. Zacchaeus here hauling it in. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. And the Dolphins beef up the secondary here as they look to stop him on 3rd down. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. Had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Just more frustration here offensively, and you can see it in their play and now in their body language. You know they were hoping to put a drive together to begin this 3rd quarter, but it's just not clicking right now, and it's going to be a quick call to the punt team.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And this returnable for Hill. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And it'll be Dolphin football. Now we get Tyreek Hill and the rest of the Miami offense back out there. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. How many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
1st down, and they go with Swift again. And he's able to carve out about 6 there, down to the 37.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field when his number is called. The way he's running it, I keep going back to him.
Tua's throw here going to be caught by Wilson. So the completion good for just 3. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. They'll try and run here with Swift. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the 1st down. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward to get the 1st down.
So the completion good for 7 there, and it's 2nd down. They will run straight ahead with Swift. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 69 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here. Tua now on 1st down.
He's got it. Touchdown. And the Dolphins are starting to open things up here in this Super Bowl. Boy, another score. This lead gets even bigger. And, Charles, we haven't even hit the fourth quarter yet.
Well, forget the deficit, right? They're really not going to cut into that a heck of a lot. But how can they get out of here with some dignity? Can they get a stop or two? Can they make a play on offense themselves? Anything to start to feel better about what's happened to them here in this one.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that makes this 35-0 now. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. And out now come the Eagles. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. It's a gain of 35.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, only they were all this easy because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
Down at the 35, it'll be second down. We're just looking at the scoreboard and where we're at in the third quarter. I don't know that it's going to matter much at this point, CD, but these small runs on the ground, they're not going to get it done.
No, they're not. And right now, the guys stopping the run have been superior in this ball game, giving them no openings, no seams, and now they've got this game well in hand.
And A.J. going to pick up an Eagles first down as he'll take this down to the 26. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. They'll throw on first down with Hurts. And that one knocked away and incomplete. Nice job defensively on what will be the final play of the third quarter. We are through 3 quarters of play here from Allegiant Stadium. Folks, welcome back to the biggest stage in sports, the Super Bowl, and now we get down to the good stuff, the fourth and final quarter. 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. He'll drop this underneath for Gainwell. And he's able to break out of 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
So Hurts is off, and on comes Jake Elliott for the Eagle field goal. This will be, 38 yards out. The kick by Elliott is good, and they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
And Wilson is perfectly content to bring this out to the 25, a touchback. Tyreek Hill making his way back out towards the huddle. This defense, they wouldn't mind not seeing him again for a while. 3 trips to the end zone, how about that?
I think right now they would happily go to their general manager and say, is there any way you could get a trade for him, bring him over to our team so we don't have to cover him anymore? Because he is really having a heck of a ball game, isn't he?
Boy, he is. I don't know that mid-game trade's going to happen, but good thought. On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And taken down just shy of the 40.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Here's a handoff to Swift running left. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. 2nd and 7. Once again, it's Swift. And he's going to take this close to the first down marker as he stopped at the Eagles' 38. 94 yards rushing for him now as he goes over the century mark here in this Super Bowl. The Dolphins on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. They're looking at third and a few inches. Here's a handoff to Swift. And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to take us to the 2-minute warning. A handoff, Swift running to the left. And he'll take this down to the 33.
I like the call there because that was one to take time off the clock and get them closer to getting out of here with a W. In the mind of the play caller, all you want to hear is tick, tick, tick.
2nd down and 8. They run out of the gun with Swift. Gave a glimpse of his power, but not a whole lot of space. Down at the 30. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
On 3rd down, here comes Swift. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
So after that sack, Hurts and the Eagles, tough spot here, 3rd and long. Back to throw here. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Now Hill to return it. So possession goes over here on the punt. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit triple zeros. And they take a knee. And the Lombardi Trophy has a home in South Florida. The Miami Dolphins are your Super Bowl champions. For the victors getting to hoist that Lombardi Trophy, you know, we've talked to guys that have done it, and they say there's no better feeling in sports.
I don't know how there can be. The journey to get to this game is incredible. And then to finally break through and win it when all eyes are on this game alone because there's nothing else going on, that's just got to be absolutely amazing. The task, incredible. But the accomplishment, forever.